Learn English through story. The measure of true wealth. In the bustling metropolis of Arborville, where skyscrapers pierced the clouds and the streets were a maze of activity, lived a man named Richard Caldwell. Richard was a highly respected financier, known for his sharp intellect and successful investments. His name was synonymous with wealth and influence, and his luxurious penthouse overlooking the city was a symbol of his achievements. Yet, despite his outward success, Richard grappled with a pervasive sense of emptiness. Richard's life was consumed by the relentless pursuit of financial gain. His days were filled with high-stakes meetings and strategic decisions, while his nights were spent in the company of his investments rather than his loved ones. His interactions were often transactional, and his relationships were more about convenience than connection. Although he had amassed significant wealth, Richard felt that something crucial was missing from his life. One winter's evening, as Richard was preparing for another busy day, he received a letter from an old friend named Samuel Weaver. Samuel had been a fellow student at business school and had chosen a different path, becoming a social worker dedicated to improving the lives of underprivileged communities. The letter invited Richard to visit Samuel and see the work he was doing firsthand. Richard, intrigued but skeptical, decided to accept the invitation. The following week, Richard arrived in a modest neighborhood on the outskirts of Arborville, where Samuel worked. The contrast between this area and Richard's opulent penthouse was stark. The streets were lined with small homes and community centers, and the sense of community was palpable. Richard was greeted warmly by Samuel, who had maintained his genuine and humble demeanor despite his own challenges. Samuel took Richard on a tour of the community center where he worked. The center provided a range of services, including educational programs, job training, and support for families in need. As Richard observed the bustling activity and the smiles on the faces of those being helped, he was struck by the sense of purpose and fulfillment that seemed to permeate the environment. Samuel introduced Richard to several individuals whose lives had been transformed by the center's programs. Among them was Maria, a single mother who had found stability and hope through the center's job training program. Her story of overcoming adversity and building a better future for her children was both inspiring and humbling. Richard listened intently as Maria spoke about the support she had received and the gratitude she felt for the opportunity to create a better life. Richard also met James, a young man who had been given a second chance through the center's educational programs. James shared his dream of becoming a community leader and giving back to those who had supported him. His enthusiasm and commitment to making a difference were contagious, and Richard couldn't help but admire his dedication. As the day went on, Richard had the opportunity to participate in a community meal organized by the center. The gathering was a celebration of togetherness and gratitude, with residents and center staff coming together to share food and stories. Richard was struck by the warmth and sense of belonging that filled the room. The simple act of sharing a meal brought people together in a way that was both profound and meaningful. By the end of the day, Richard found himself reflecting on the stark contrast between his own life and the experiences he had witnessed. Despite his financial success and material wealth, he realized that he lacked the sense of purpose and fulfillment that seemed to define the lives of those he had met. The genuine connections, shared experiences, and impact on the community left a lasting impression on him. Richard's visit to the community center sparked a period of introspection. He began to reassess his own priorities and values. He realized that his relentless pursuit of wealth had come at the expense of meaningful relationships and a sense of purpose. The true measure of wealth, he began to understand, was not in the accumulation of material possessions but in the positive impact one could make on the lives of others. Determined to make a change, Richard decided to channel his resources and energy into supporting causes that mattered to him. He reached out to Samuel and offered his assistance in expanding the community center's programs. With his financial expertise and connections, Richard was able to secure funding and support for new initiatives, including expanded educational programs and additional resources for families in need. In addition to his financial contributions, Richard became actively involved in the center's activities. He volunteered his time to mentor individuals seeking to improve their lives and shared his knowledge of business and finance with those who were interested in pursuing entrepreneurial ventures. Through his involvement, Richard found a new sense of fulfillment and purpose. The impact of Richard's contributions was significant. The community center's programs flourished, and many more individuals were able to benefit from the support and opportunities provided. Richard's efforts helped create lasting positive change, and the gratitude and appreciation from those he had helped brought him a deep sense of satisfaction. Over time, Richard's perspective on wealth and success evolved. He continued to enjoy the fruits of his financial achievements but no longer saw them as the ultimate measure of his life's worth. Instead, he valued the relationships he had built, the positive impact he had made, and the sense of purpose that came from giving back to the community. Richard's journey became a powerful reminder that true wealth is not measured by the size of one's bank account but by the depth of one's connections and the positive influence one has on the lives of others. His story illustrated that the most meaningful achievements are often those that transcend material success and contribute to the greater good. In the end, Richard Caldwell's transformation was a testament to the enduring value of empathy, connection, and purpose. His experience highlighted that the true measure of wealth is found in the impact we make on the world and the lives we touch along the way. The echoes of his newfound understanding resonated throughout his life, shaping his actions and enriching his sense of fulfillment. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.